When I think back, I always had this curiosity about the breath. It was less a curiosity and more an unconscious connection to a knowing of how powerful the breath could be. I remember in summer as a kid at the pool, we would have competitions to see who could swim the furthest underwater. I would stand on the edge of the pool, feeling the energy pulsing through my body. My heart would be racing and my palms would be sweaty with anticipation. As I took my last full, deep breath, filling my lungs and my whole breathing mechanism with air, I could feel my shoulders relax a little and a smile play onto my face. And as my body hit the water, my breath suspended within me, everything seemed to go quiet. I felt a peace and a contentment that I seldom felt anywhere else. A sense of connection, a feeling of belonging to something larger than myself. I didn't have words for it then, but looking back now, I wonder if a part of me somehow always knew the breath was showing me the way. I spent 40 years chasing that feeling again, trying to find that space of peace and contentment. A space away from all the noise and the overwhelm, from the chaos. And I found that through Breathwork Mastery RBM. Hello and welcome back to the Authentic Alana YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am an Alana and I am so excited to be here sharing some new content with you. Authentic Alana is your space for all things nervous system regulation, play, children, parenting, educating and supporting children and families. And I am so excited to be jumping into some new information for you on Authentic Alana, all about Breathwork Mastery RBM. So I'm really excited to share with you today how I came to be engaged with Breathwork Mastery RBM and what Breathwork Mastery RBM. So let's jump in. So what is Breathwork Mastery RBM? Before I jump into that, I would just like to explain a little bit about where Breathwork Mastery RBM came from. So I am being trained by Eleanor Mann, the lineage holder of Breathwork Mastery RBM and the School of Breathwork. And she was taught by Alik Anelda. Alik was a Swami in India, and she moved back to Australia and became interested and engaged with rebirthing breathwork. And from there, and from years of experience and training and knowledge, she developed Breathwork Mastery RBM and taught Eleanor, and together they hold the lineage of Breathwork Mastery RBM. So Breathwork Mastery RBM is a tool for conscious, connected living. It is a tool for supporting you to have your life go in the way that you intend. It is a body and breath process, and although I'm going to be talking to you about Breathwork Mastery RBM today, you do not have to understand the how or the why of the ins and outs of how it works. You simply have to engage with the practice and you'll experience it for yourself. So let's just take it back a step. Every second of every minute of every hour of every day of our lives we are breathing. Something that we do unconsciously, automatically. Something that our body just knows how to do and does to keep us alive. And we can and we do breathe consciously. The moment you take a fuller than usual breath and a slow exhale when something takes your breath away in awe. A long, deep breath and a sigh at the end of a long day. The more structured pranayama that we use in yoga and meditation. And also so many of the new waves of breathing, like box breathing and 4-7-8 breathing, and even breath of fire, ways to support our nervous system, to support our regulation, to support our levels of stress and overwhelm, to help us focus and to help our energy to do the tasks and move through life in the way that we need. All of these ways of breathing are bringing conscious awareness to something that is automatic for our survival. And it is in the conscious part of the breath where the power lies. So back to Breathwork Mastery RBM. This type of breathwork practice uses a long, slow, fuller than usual, conscious connected breath in and out through the nose. It is a relaxed and subtle breath. And as I said, we are consciously breathing. We are remembering to breathe each breath. This type of breathing connects to the parasympathetic part of our nervous system, which activates the rest and digest part. This helps us to feel safe and supported enough to clear whatever is in the way of our life going in the way that we intend. To support us to move in the direction we choose. And to also help us to anchor in, to strengthen, and to create new patterns and new ways of being. New ways of showing up in the world that feel more authentic and aligned for who we are. Now, there are 3 parts to Breathwork Mastery RBM. The first part is intention setting. Then we breathe for a 90-minute breath cycle using this full, slow, conscious, connected breath. And then after our breath cycle, we debrief. And all parts of the Breathwork Mastery RBM process are just as important as each other. So in the intention setting part of our Breathwork Mastery RBM journey, we support you to set a meaningful intention to you. Something that lights you up, something that is authentic and aligned to how you would prefer life to be going for you. Whenever we are looking for a meaningful intention for somebody, it will always answer the question, what would you prefer to have happening now? We then lay down and breathe for a full 90-minute cycle. Longer, slower, fuller than usual breaths, meeting ourselves exactly where we are, including everything in our session, including all levels of our experience, which we're going to explore shortly, and staying with what is happening in the moment. And finally, we move into our debrief. The debrief is where we help you see how your experience in the breath cycle related to your intention. During the debrief, we do this in a agenda-free, non-judgmental space that honors your innate wisdom and your inner knowing. Connecting your intention, your breath cycle experience through the debrief. From here, you go back out into life and see what has changed. Nothing more for you to do. The breath and the body show you the way through fuller, slower, conscious connected breaths, intention setting and debriefing. Things can change like you would not believe. My journey has been mind-blowing in ways that you could never even imagine. Sometimes subtle and small shifts, sometimes huge, that ripple out and people in my family and my circles can notice. Over the coming weeks and months, I am going to share with you some of my experiences through my breathwork journey. But for now, I would just like to say that I have traveled through lots of different experiences of different types of breathwork. I have always had an affinity and an understanding of the breath and how powerful it can be, as you heard in my little story at the start of this video. I talk to clients, to parents, to educators about using different types of breath to ground ourselves, to regulate in the moment. But I always knew that there was a deeper way that the breath could support us. And I found that in Breathwork Mastery RBM. Using this type of breath supports our parasympathetic part of our nervous system to come online, to support us to slow down, to support our system to have time to integrate, to make sense of, to move through things in a way that is safe and supported. And every time we do this type of breath work, it creates resilience and strength in our nervous system to help us bounce back with more ease and more compassion and more love. And that has certainly been what I have noticed the most over my journey. My expanded capacity in my nervous system to be with my big feelings, to be with my kiddos' big feelings, to be with the world's big feelings. So if you want to know more about the nervous system, if you're thinking, what is this crazy lady talking about? Jump into some of my other videos, especially Thirsty Thursday. They have all of the information about the autonomic nervous system and the different states, and how that will help you understand how that connects to what I am talking about right now. So let's just have a little word about the different levels of experience in our Breathwork Mastery RBM session. So we could have a physical level experience, we can have a mental level experience, an emotional level experience, and a spiritual level experience. Physical level experiences speak to the sensations or the physical way that we might experience a session. So these can range from subtle to intense and everywhere in between. There could be things like feeling hot and cold, a warmth in your body, tingling, pulsing, pain, aching. We can have discomfort. We can feel energy moving, effervescence bubbles in our body, and so much more. Nothing is wrong and everything is included. Mastery RBM session, the mind does not need to be still. We can have a mental level experience where we have mundane, everyday thoughts, or we have huge awarenesses and openings from a subconscious part of our being. We might be laying there thinking about the to-do lists, the jobs that we have to do, what we're going to cook for dinner, these thoughts that play through our mind, and we can call these mental flushes. But we may also go beyond that. We may have memories arise, we may have visions, we may have thoughts of people or places or experiences that we have been through. Things from the past, present or future can come up. And again, everything is included. The next level of experience we may have in a Breathwork Mastery RBM session is the emotional level. And again, these can range from subtle to intense and everywhere in between. We may feel things like happiness, sadness, anger. We may also feel things like shame, guilt, excitement, compassion. Breathwork Mastery RBM session, all emotions are valid and they are coming up to be seen, heard and validated. And in this space, we are safe to move towards them. We can feel worried and we can feel alive, and so much more. Level of experience that we may have in a Breathwork Mastery RBM session is a spiritual experience. And a spiritual experience is anything that is meaningful to the individual breather. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to feel right for anybody else. It just has to be authentic, aligned, and meaningful for the person that is experiencing it. Things like experiencing a deep, fully safe experience, talking to God or a higher power, connecting to past over loved ones, spirit guides, feeling connected to everything that is, swimming with dolphins, a deep connection to nature, or the deepest connection to yourself that you have ever felt before. Everything is welcome and nothing is wrong. There is no one way to experience a Breathwork Mastery RBM session. Your experience will be unique to you. We stay with whatever arises and we keep breathing long, slow, full, conscious, connected breaths. I think back to when I used to swim underwater and feel that peace and contentment. And I felt that in Breathwork Mastery RBM sessions. I've actually had the vision of me diving into the pool and swimming underwater for lap after lap. But no panic, no fear, no worry, just what is right there. The water around me, my mind still, and my body feeling safe. I would love for everybody in our world to experience that. I would love if that's how we walked around our world every day, feeling this deep sense of connection, safety, peace, contentment, and love. And as I share my RBM journey with all of you, I hope that you come along for the ride and that at some point you get to feel this too. Thank you so much for being here with me today as I dive into all things Breathwork Mastery RBM. I am so forever grateful for all of you who show up here, who cross my path, and who is walking this journey of life with me. I want to say thank you to Eleanor, Alec, and the School of Breathwork. I am forever in debt for coming across Breathwork Mastery RBM, and I am just so excited that I can begin to add that into my toolkit and my way of shining my light and showing up in service of others, to support others, to begin to live a conscious, connected life and have life go in the way they intend, because that is our innate wisdom. That is our birthright as humans, and we can all move on that path together. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find out when my next video drops on Authentic Alana. Have a wonderful week. Keep breathing, and even if it's just a moment, take a moment of a conscious, connected breath, and it will begin to change your life. Take care, everybody. Bye.